What's up, Solar Warriors? Today is Tuesday, September 10th, 2024. My name's Jarrett McAllister, the virtual Solar Pro, and we are live streaming on I don't know, 3, 4 different Facebook groups. We're on YouTube. If you're watching the recording because you can't make it here live, like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your fellow solarpreneurs. This is Tuesday Training. I'm alongside my colleagues, Jonathan Bernasso, Mr. Tom Cotter. Gentlemen, how are you?
Good morning. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm doing good, Jarrett. Doing good. I like your shirt there still. Defund the utilities.
That's
Nice.
right.
Jarrett, that was like one of the best intros you've ever done. I mean, you're getting professional at it. So hats off to you.
Thanks, bro. I actually saw you smile while I was doing that. I was like, oh, he likes this one. Cool. Well, look, hey, we do have a jam-packed training for you guys. Mr. Bobby Smith, Mrs. Irene are going to be on the training here. So let's just jump right into it. We don't have a ton of time. Let's start this off with some success stories like we do every single week. I want to hear from you guys. Go ahead, raise your hand, drop it in the chat. We'll do a couple of them and then we'll move on to a quote. But really quick, I'd like to share a success story for myself. Shout out to Got Watts, my big time enterprise installer in NorCal, Bay Area, East Bay specifically. Just doing a fantastic job with one of my homeowners. It's about a 15K dub with 2 Tesla Powerwalls and a EV charger. They absolutely knocked it out the park on yesterday. And in fact, during the install, they said, hey, homeowner wants to change the position of the EV charger from the 5 foot, 20 feet over here. I was like, well, let's do it. And they said, no problem. We can knock that out. We'll get that done. Client is super happy, loaded with referrals. So let's go. Great to have an install on a Monday. All right. Next up, Mr. David Steele. What's up, brother? How are you?
Good. Excited to see everyone next week. I went to Costco last week, and then as I was leaving, the Sunrun rep kind of like waved to me because I had my Power shirt on. But as usual, I'm always in a hurry, so I just left and went home. And I was like kicking myself. I'm like, why didn't I stop and talk to him? So this is actually a Costco about 30 minutes from my house. So it just was bugging me. So I drove back there to talk to him. We had a really good conversation, but it was the guy next to him that was doing heating that actually gave him my information. He put in his first deal, and we closed the deal from it. So I was pretty stoked.
Let's go, man. Following your intuition. Dude, absolutely. That when you know you're supposed to do something, right? You're feeling it. And then you're kicking yourself in the butt. You're like, why didn't I take action on this?
I'm my hardest critic. I just came home and I'm just like, why the hell couldn't I take 3 minutes out? I'm always in a rush. So anyway.
You guys, success leaves clues, right? And getting out there and just talking to everybody. They used to call it like the 3-foot rule, right? If someone's within 3 feet of you, tell them what you do. Don't be a solar secret agent. And especially, the guy was waving at you, David. He literally was like, what's up, Mr. Power Rep?
Hey, I have a LinkedIn tip. Can I give it really quick?
Yeah, please do.
So there's now over 1 billion registered users on LinkedIn, 1 billion. There's 300 million active users. Guess what the percentage of that post at least once a week? 3 million, 1%. So LinkedIn is very content in need. And so like just posting once or twice a week, you're in the top 1% on that platform. It's not going to stay that way forever. So it's just really a good time to get a little bit more involved.
Yeah, LinkedIn, you make a great point there. And LinkedIn is just kind of one of those forgotten ones, right? When you talk about the big social media platforms, you're thinking Facebook, IG, maybe X or something like that. But LinkedIn for professionals, it's huge. And I've actually scored not just deals, but people have joined my team from LinkedIn. And another pro tip, make sure your LinkedIn profile is dialed in because people will look you up and you want to be looking professional. So thank you,
I
David.
have just 57 people left, and then I will have reached out to all 457 sales reps with Lumio since we saw that news on Thursday. So I have about
Great job.
3 interviews set up so far for Lumio folks.
It's incredible. Mr. David taking action steel. Great job, brother. All right, man. Next up, Powur Solar Bill Conley.
Well, don't confuse me with Solar Bill because he has his own name, but I'm at the risk of being confused with Solar Bill, who's a great guy, and at the risk of being dissed by the hosts here on this program. I had 3 installations that happened last week. I was very excited, one of which was a ground mount. I have 3 more going in this week. One is today, which is one of the non-export, very carefully done stay NEM1 programs. I went to a political event at their house last night just to stay close to them. But the one thing I wanted to talk about was to acknowledge Chris Callier about going out. I finally went out and saw somebody physically. I went out to East Stockton to a kind of a barn ranch area to talk to a gal who knew way more than I did about everything. And she wasn't going to let me tell her anything about the fact that she didn't need batteries and on and on. But by the time we were done, she was set on a couple of power walls and doing her roof, her barn roof, with about a 15 kW installation. And I pretty much think she's going to go for it. So it does sometimes pay to go and see people who are kind of old school. Remember that not everybody, just because we all went through COVID and everybody became a Zoom expert, doesn't mean we are all Zoom experts. And I need to be reminded of that because quite often people just are not, they're not computer literate and aren't the easiest able to get on, and you have to work with them and take your time. Do not get frustrated, help them, do what they need to do. If you need to have a phone call with them beforehand to kind of coax them along, I would recommend that. But because we do so much virtually and we are also good at it, it's very easy to sort of take for granted that the rest of humanity is that way. And it's not, but they're coming along. So that was my little tidbit for the day. Really excited about Powur World and seeing all of you in the real. That's very exciting. I'm just super hopeful about that. So until we meet again, thank you.
Great job, Bill. Appreciate you sharing that with everybody. You're definitely going to scoop up the deals that I cannot. I try my hardest. I've gotten some, let's just say some old birds with some silver hair to figure out some Zooms and some apps and some things like that. But it can be a struggle session. I've spent an hour before trying to get them to figure out how to share their screen so they can sign an agreement. But we do what we do. Great job. And can't wait to see you and everybody else at Powur World next week. Tom, you got a quote for the crew?
I got a thought for the day.
Thought for the day.
I posted this morning on Facebook about Powur Health. My family is saving about $1,300 a month with Powur Health. We switched to it maybe 2 years ago now, and it was interesting. I had a couple people hit me up privately about selling health insurance with them as a side gig, and I just wanted to let you all know. I know that side hustles and side gigs are really big right now. Everybody's got 5 of them. I don't have anything else that I do other than Powur. And when Bill and I started working together in Powur 4 years ago now, almost, maybe a little bit more, I did have a business at that time. And when we moved from Clovis, California to Kansas City, Kansas, I sold off everything in that business. If you listen to me tell my story, it was actually breeding pythons. Yeah, we had a couple hundred pythons that my daughter and I bred and sold. But I just want you to know that, when you start with Powur, you may have something that you do on the side, or Powur may itself be your side hustle for a while. But within a year, 2 years, if you're strategically using your time you don't need to do things on the side. You know, I don't need a side hustle, right? So I just want you to think about that. You know, don't think that, you know, some people have side hustles, that's fine, but don't think that you need to be doing multiple things and power if you're spending your time wisely. After a while, you know, this can very easily, you know, provide for you. And if you've read the 4 Hour Work Week, Timothy Ferriss, you know, I view it as, you know, I make the most per hour in my power business, and why would I want to spend other hours doing something where I'm making less per hour? So it's opportunity cost there. Anyways, just wanted to say something about side gigs, and I found it interesting that I had these people reaching out to me this morning to try to, you know, sell health insurance or health coverage on the side after my Power Health post on Facebook. So if you haven't looked at it yet, look at powerhealth.com. Ambassadors are eligible, lead generators are eligible, you're eligible for that. You can check it out.
Thanks, Tom. No, that's great advice. You know, power starts off as a plan B for a lot of people, but work it until it becomes your plan A. I will tell you this from personal experience. Once I made my plan B, my plan A, that's when my business 10x'd. And to your point, your ROI on your time investment. Like, what are you going to do? Uber drive for, you know, a few hours and make $100? It's like, well, what if you spent those 4 hours knocking doors or prospecting or calling ambassadors? There is really no better ROI than your power business. And then really quick, just want to show this off. 4 Hour Work Week.
Tim
Signed
Ferriss.
copy from my boy, Tim Ferriss. He said, Jarrett, play often.
Nice.
Took that to heart. Thank
Thanks,
you,
gentlemen.
Tom, for sharing that.
All right, guys. Thank you. Power Health in the chat, and Tom's Facebook post as well in the chat. I have 2 quick updates for you, and we're going to hand it right off to Bobby Smith for some words of inspiration, motivation, and keys to success for Power World. But as you all know, next week is Power World. We'll be in Florida. So we are going to be off on Tuesday. No Tuesday team training. The following Tuesday, the 24th, we're going to do a recap. We're going to try to do a recap of just some important things. There's going to be too much to cover, too many amazing updates. And then October 1st, we resume normal trainings. We're going to talk about O&M updates with Dan and his team doing big things, and more to come. Make sure to read your Monday newsletter here. Jonathan Budd's words, motivation, and massive shout out to Jordan Shaw earning $47,000 in August. I mean, my goodness. The income potential here, guys, is just limitless. He's only been here a few years. He's receiving his 7-figure jacket right here, 7-figure jacket in Florida. So massive shout out to Jordan and a few others. This August edition of Performance and the recognizing of the sellers and recruiters and installers, it's awesome. I really enjoy this email. So make sure to check that out from Power. Obviously, Power World, get your tickets, last opportunity. And in just a minute, Bobby's going to speak on what the heck is this Thursday, 4 p.m. Eastern business showcase, and then this epic sales guru dropping fire for 2 hours. And guess what? We get to use this to spark interest, to recruit, a free tool to invite people to. They have to register. Space is limited if they want to hear 2 hours of straight fire training from one of the best trainers. So we're going to speak on this, guys. Make sure to take note for that. Change order update, Soul Rights back in Puerto Rico. And I don't want to forget this. Tomorrow, September 11th at 12 Pacific, Irene is doing a deep dive on planning your Power World trip. Specifics by our events manager, Irene. She's amazing. So make sure to put this in the calendar. We'll put the link in the chat as well. So with that, we are all here to really prepare for Power World, and events in particular are at the core of what we do, right? We're beyond thankful to have Bobby Smith here for a few minutes before his appointment. in between appointments, dealing with his wife and kids and dog and family and everything he does, all while he's caring about the fires burning all across California with smoke in everyone's freaking backyards with the hottest temperatures recorded in the last week. Oh my God. It's insane. And there's this little thing next week called Powur World. So Bobby's here to drop some wisdom about Thursday night, planning for Powur World, the plan before, the plan during, and most importantly, the plan after. So Bobby, we appreciate you being here. Take it
Hey,
away.
thanks, man. Thanks for the invite. Yeah, I am a little rushed just in between some meetings, and I got a regular doctor checkup I had to get to before I split. But thanks, Jonathan, for everything you always do, just making our company, all of our company, a better company, and just being the leader that you are in the industry, and Tom and all of you, amazing leaders that are on here. We really thoroughly appreciate, everything we're doing. My heart is torn, by the fires in California and Reno. And I believe an impending hurricane coming up through Texas. And I almost feel guilty. It's so gorgeous here in Maryland. It's almost perfect. So, I saw an interesting post the other day, which I put on my LinkedIn profile. You can check. They changed it from climate change and they added a D to climate changed. It has changed. It's not about whether it's going to change or not. It has already changed. And we are seeing the wrath of that as we speak. And I don't think this fire has been contained 1% yet, if I read the last update. So our prayers and our thoughts go out. Rachel's mom's in a hotel, so we just, it breaks our heart. And it reminds us of what we're doing and why we do what we do. So again, thanks to all of you for being part of that mission. Thursday, yeah, to Jonathan's point, there's only one day to make money in power at convention. That's Thursday, right? That's when you're inviting. That's the only thing that's broadcast. That's when you're inviting everybody around the world to hear what we have to say, and they can enjoy a couple of hours by one of the top trainers in the industry with Danny. So it's just an amazing event. So Thursday's a big one. I hope all of you have guests on that. Sometimes Thursday gets lost in the shuffle, and it's actually the only real immediate revenue potential producing opportunity of the weekend. I've jumped on a lot of meetings over the last couple of days, and there's a couple little tidbits of things I've just remembered to talk about. Bring all your positivity to convention. This is not a time for the whisper down the lane sidebar conversations of a project that went bad in Pennsylvania because we had an offboard and installer, right? That's not what this is about, right? It's about bringing your A game, forgetting what happened last week or last month. This is about inspiration. This is about another thing, really supporting all the speakers up there. They need your energy. You think I don't get nervous before I get up there? I get nervous, every time before I get up there. All speakers need your help. And there's a lot of new speakers. It's a big part of what we're doing this convention. More names, more faces, more inclusivity, if you will. And they need you. And they need you to clap and laugh at their dumb jokes and stand up and cheer when they say something that's motivating. And I would also say for all of you, if you haven't spoken at Powur World, if I'm you in the audience or I've got teammates in the audience, I want them looking at that stage and thinking about their growth and two phases. A, when will they be on that stage? Break through their performance barriers, break through their anxiety of public speaking. It's one of the top anxieties in the world with death and going to the dentist. So A, when will you be up on that stage? We need you and we want you. And B, how many members of your team will be up on that stage? We need them and we want them, So look, I've talked to people too in the last week or so who think that these things are hype sessions. Well, as Jonathan knows, we're going to make some of the biggest announcements in the solar industry. Jonathan Budd is whatever you think, and even Mr. Bernasso, who's tuned into most of what we're doing, he doesn't know. Even some of it I don't know because Jonathan doesn't tell me because he knows I'll blab, right? We are going to make some announcements that are going to change the industry. They're going to put some of your problems behind you, a lot of them, most of them. Again, I don't want to speak to any of them, but some of you know some of what's coming, but you definitely don't know all of what's coming. We're playing a hot hand. We are in the process. This week, we have signed up some of the biggest sales organizations and teams in the United States. We have 2 more meetings coming up this week with some of the biggest players in the industry, and they all want to be a part of what we're doing. And I only know one way to lead, and that's by example. I've got two guests coming to the event. One of them is one of the largest installers and sales orgs in the country. I've been speaking to them for 6 years now. They are pulling the trigger. I've got one of the top solar pros in the state of Florida coming to the meeting. One of the top sales guys, 4.5 years. 4.5 years. So persistency pays off. I only know how to lead one way. How many guests will I have in that room on Thursday night? How many major players will I have? And remember, there is a time and a place for special meetings. Jonathan's suite. I don't know if I have a suite or not. Jonathan's suite, out by the pool, whatever it might be. Special people should get special attention. And if there's anybody you think we need to meet with, talk with, spend time with, do a shot of tequila with, whatever it may be, we are there to serve.
Hit your microphone button. Someone muted you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
There you go.
Jared, Tom, whoever's on here again, I can't see all the names. I apologize. We love you and we appreciate you. And no one more than Mr. Bernasso, again, who has pushed so hard for the changes that we are finally initiating to make our back end process the absolute best in the industry. No one's figured it out yet. Not one solar company, with 6 of them going broke this last year, filing for bankruptcy, reorganizing. We will be the first to have a dialed in back office structure that is truly going to change the industry. So Jonathan, again, thank you for pushing so hard and being a leader and an instrument of change. I can't wait to see all of you. There's still tickets available. Don't miss the gala. It's going to be a monster. Find a way to get your people there. Uber drivers are probably the most popular category of guests coming on Thursday night. When you come to the airport, we built a system that they're very familiar with. Hopefully you'll have some guests locally and around the country. And I got to go buy my note cards real quick for my interview with Jonathan Bernasso in our team leadership board, whatever we're calling it, meeting. So again, thank you. We appreciate you. Can't wait to see you all. Block out the noise, bring your positivity, and let's have an amazing, spiritual, uplifting, just extraordinary event. So thanks for having me, guys and gals. Much love. And again, our prayers to the folks in California, Texas, and Nevada. Let's put a stop to this if we can.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thank you, Bobby.
Thanks, Bobby.
Peace.
All right. Much love, Bobby. And guys, there is going to be a series of trainings and events and campaigns post Powur World. So build the momentum on the front end, leverage the Thursday showcase. So I want to hit 1 or 2 things and I'll turn it back to Tom and Jarrett here. But the Thursday showcase, again, just to reiterate, if you go to Powur Calendar and we put the link in the chat right here, 4 p.m. Eastern, Powur World Showcase live from Orlando. So we're going to hear a business presentation and then Danny Pesci is going to train for 2 hours. So it's going to be phenomenal. And you can use this to send it to salespeople, prior solar people, realtors, anyone that wants to uplift their business and hear a training worth paying for. So highly recommend leveraging this for Thursday. Most of us here will be in person watching this and then able to grab some dinner afterwards. 2 more things I want to point out for you guys. One being the weather, and then 2, I'll switch to some itinerary and then hand it over to Irene, actually. So weather-wise, of course, it's a little more humid in Florida. If you're familiar, type it in the chat. But right here, we're looking at VIP day, Thursday the 19th, 86. Friday, 86, Saturday, 86, Sunday, 86. Most of us are there these 4 days, and we'll have anywhere from a 32, 23 to 50% precipitation. So not too bad, not too bad. Should be nice and comfortable. And then before I hand it over to Irene, on the powurconvention.com website, Irene is going to go into much more detail tomorrow at 12 Pacific on her training. But right here, we have the itinerary and event agenda. Irene, maybe I'll just, if you're here, maybe we'll just hand it over to you because you have a training tomorrow at 12 Pacific. You are an amazing events manager handling this the speakers, the power talks, the panels, the keynote speaker. I mean, you're basically in charge of everything, right? So why don't you take it away, Irene? Tell us what you're up to.
Thank you. Thank you, Jonathan. Yes, and thanks for Power Hitters for having me on today. Yeah, so just wanted to hop on and I know that they've already mentioned I have that training tomorrow, so be sure to be there. And I gave this spiel a little bit on yesterday's Monday forum, but just to share with all of you, if you haven't met me before, I am a little bit type A in the sense that I like to have everything planned out. And so even when I have all these documents I'm working with and all these different things, I also have a separate document that is just for myself. What am I doing? Where am I going to be? What is the temperature? What do I need to be wearing? At what time? How am I getting there? I have all of that in a separate document for myself. That way I can just reference it on the day of the event. So what I'll be going over tomorrow is actually a document, is a Google document that I created after I made mine. I was like, I should share this with everyone. So after I made mine, I created one that works for all of you, that you can go through the agenda and essentially plug in those pieces of the event that you are planning to attend. Some of them are hard coded in there already, things that you should be planning to attend anyways. But some of the things are also optional, right? So for instance, we're going to have breakout rooms. We have a lot of different breakout rooms, and I'm really excited to share some of the types of breakout rooms that we have with you all. Yes, that is starting at 12 p.m. Pacific. And I'll walk you through this agenda real quick here. Again, we'll do a much deeper dive tomorrow on that 1 hour call, but just really quickly, 8 a.m. on Thursday is when registration opens. Does that mean you want to get there at 11:55 right before breakout rooms start? Definitely not. That means get there early, plan to be there during that 4 hour window, not when everyone is coming at the last minute, but get there, get settled in, get what you need to be registered for the event, and you'll be all set. So that's 8 a.m. 8 a.m. to noon, some of you were invited. This is an invite only. So some of you were invited to the VIP experience. If that's you, you do need to be in the lobby at 8 a.m. The bus is leaving, I think, at 8:10. So we're leaving pretty quickly after that. So be there by 8 a.m., ready to go. We'll get you all set up and headed over to that VIP experience. If you have not yet registered, I think we have like 2 spots left. So if you have that email, if you have your specific code, you can go and try and see if that still works. Like I said, I think we have a couple spots left. We've been very quiet about it after after sharing it because so many people signed up right away. But at this point, if you haven't done it yet, go ahead and do that. After that, we've got breakout rooms. And then our opening session, 4 to 7, is a 2-in-1. So we've got the Power Business Showcase and the Ultimate Sales Kickoff with Danny Pessy, who is our keynote this year. If you guys haven't been at an event with Danny Pessy, he's an incredible speaker. One thing that I loved, I got to see him live at one of the conventions put on by Eric Garcia, and he has a background in improv, which means that he's very good at thinking on the fly and in turn very good at sales because he's listening to the people he's working with and responding based on that. So you'll definitely want to be there for that. So we have the Power Business Showcase and the Ultimate Sales Kickoff. That's 4 to 7. After that, we do have a welcome reception that will be hosted by Sonova. So thank you to our partners at Sonova. They're hosting a welcome reception. We'll have some past hors d'oeuvres. This is not your dinner. So you'll need to get dinner elsewhere. But this is a welcome reception. So jam-packed day on Thursday. Then Friday, of course, we keep that momentum going. We'll have a mindfulness morning. I think we've got a yoga and then a sound bath. I'm not sure which is which day. But Friday at 7:30 a.m., you want to be there to get your mind right before diving into the first really big day of main stage content. At that point, we'll get into general sessions. 9 a.m. to about 1. Around 1, we'll break you all for lunch. You'll go off to lunch, and then you only have an hour. 1 hour for lunch, which means you need to plan your lunch in advance and be ready to go, or just get something that's a grab and go so you can get back to the main room on time to get back for those first round of breakout rooms. I'll have all the breakout rooms lined up tomorrow, but there are some that you will not want to miss. So you will definitely want to be back in time at that 2 p.m. to be there for the breakout rooms. In the evening, we do have the Soul Awards Gala. For those of you who haven't been before, it's an opportunity to dress up and be around everyone. So that will be super fun. We have some live music. I think we've already announced it. So sorry to the team if we haven't already. But Ramsey Clark will be our headliner for the Soul Awards Gala. If you missed it last year, he won and absolutely crushed the Powur's Got Talent Award. He's an incredible musician, and this time he's bringing his whole band with him. So if you aren't already signed up for the Soul Awards Gala, you'll definitely want to check that out. And then, of course, Saturday, opening it up again, just trying to get our minds right before we get started, and then diving into that general session, again, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So that is the flow of the event. We don't have anything planned for Saturday nights. We know that a lot of people like to go out with their teams on Saturday nights, or even just like a night of decompressing. Some people will be hanging out on Sunday. I know some people are planning to stay and enjoy the theme park, enjoy not Power World, Disney World, enjoy Disney World or anything else around there. So I highly encourage you to make the most of your trip, really enjoy your time while you're there. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't mind the sleepless nights at all right now, because I am so excited to see you all in person, to get the hugs, to have all of this. It's coming together so nicely. Oh, good, you've got the slide. To get my iconic picture with the Bernasso brothers. And yeah, just to see you all and be around our energy. We haven't had too many opportunities to get together in person, especially this year with the challenges. And there's so much to be excited about and grateful for. And yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Look at that guy with his $1 million jacket on.
We got 5, 6 more jackets we're going to be handing out in Florida. 7-figure jackets, guys. It's going to be very exciting. Thank you, Irene. I don't see any questions in the chat, guys. You maybe have her for another minute or two, but better yet, attend tomorrow's training, 12 Pacific. We have the unauthorized use of Jordan Shaw's photo there.
There's a sign on the door that says if you enter the building, any photos are ours.
There you go.
We don't have that, but I'm going to write that now.
We'll just believe you. All right. So that's tomorrow, 12 Pacific. Irene, try to take a nap, get some sleep. Her and the team are flying out there. Gosh, what, this Friday? Just to prepare for days on end, guys. So what an undertaking it is. So much hard work's going into this. Hundreds of people are going to benefit from this event and come away on fire, motivated, ready to crush it, make some income, get overrides, and end the year strong. But 2025 is going to be freaking amazing. I absolutely know it.
It is. And really quick, I just want to reiterate pro tip for you guys. If you weren't there last year, if this is your first year, or even if you were, register early. Like Irene was saying, do not wait till 11:55 or even 11:30 or even 11. Get up early Thursday morning. Registration starts at 8. Breakout rooms start at noon. And if you find yourself 11:30, 11:45, and there's these breakout rooms and some of them are only having one session right there in the beginning, you're going to miss it because there's going to be this massive line. So do yourself a favor, do the company a favor, get there, register early, get it out the way, and knock that part out.
100%. And, you know, I really like what Bobby said. Last year, being by the ocean, having a bar outside, having a nice view, there was a lot of side combos, a lot of people going in and out the room. This year, I'm personally looking forward to being up front, engaged, in the speakers' faces the whole time. It's just a few hours before a lunch, before breakout rooms, before reception, before mindfulness. So guys, just be present. Phones on silent, phones on airplane mode, pen and paper ready, networking ready, photos with everyone, social media ready. Let's make it a badass 3 days convention. Barry's ready. I love it.
Hey, thanks, Irene. I know you got a ton of stuff going on. So
Cool. Thanks, you
Thanks,
guys.
Irene.
Go-
We'll see you
go do-
tomorrow.
go do your amazingness stuff.
Thanks, you guys. Have a good one.
Bye, Irene.
Yeah, there's going to be so much that's going to happen, whether it's at the breakouts or from the main stage. So write down the stuff that you want to remember and write down the stuff that you want to talk about with other people with your leadership, at a break, at lunch, that night, so that you don't, miss out on something. So there's going to be things that you're going to hear from the stage. There's going to be things that you're going to hear that are really insightful and impactful for your business that aren't even on the stage, that are in a hallway, or it's over, our quick lunch that we have. So, write that stuff down, whether it's in a notebook or your phone or, voice memo to yourself. Write that stuff down. And then after Powur World, go through that and prioritize the things that you want to do, and come up with your plan for the next 12 months. If you're, for those of you in Solar Warrior Tribe, you have priority for this, but I'm going to be hanging out a little bit longer on Sunday. I don't fly out until Sunday night. Powur World is officially over on Saturday night. So if you want to meet up for coffee, for lunch, just to chat about your plan, your goals, bounce some ideas around, reach out to me and we can schedule some time to sit down together. I know Jonathan and others are doing the same. If you want to meet with Jarrett, you got to go to Universal and talk to him on a ride. But
Taking the family on
that just
Sunday,
makes it
but
more
I don't know.
interesting, right?
Those thunderstorms on a Sunday, that makes it kind of dicey. But I will definitely be found in the lobby sipping an old fashioned. If you guys want to clank some glasses, I'm more than willing to do that. We can hang out.
I do know that Zach Bach and some of his team and crew is getting together for a dinner on Thursday night. And then I believe Davis has a suite with a few guys. So they're doing some meetings in the suite. So if you have any ideas or want to get together with your team, your leadership, do a mastermind Thursday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning, it's all game on. We can get together, share tips, best practices, what we learned, what we're going to take away, what we're going to implement, hold each other accountable. So I really love that aspect that Tom and Jarrett are speaking to, guys.
Yeah. And for those of you that are in Solar Warrior Tribe, you know that if you did not already get the invite from me for Thursday night, then reach out, because we've got, I think we've got 52 people on the invite right now for dinner.
Ooh, and Tom's flipping the bill. So it's all good. Feel free, order what you like.
It's gonna be a good dinner at a steakhouse.
I'll be Solar Warrior Tribe for a night.
And I also
No.
mentioned this. So one of the things that's probably going to happen on Saturday is, just so you're ready, is they're going to announce, I would guess, where Powur World is next year. Or at least they're going to announce, hey, right now, scan this QR code and you're going to be able to buy tickets to Powur World 2025 for the cheapest price ever. So you can buy blocks of tickets for 10, for 20, for 30, at the cheapest price they're ever going to be. So be aware of that and be planning for that, so that you can, pick up at least one ticket, maybe 2 tickets or more for the next one. My guess would be it's going to be someplace closer to the West Coast than Florida.
Yeah, it might be hurricane season during this time, but I did guess it last year. I said, I bet you it's in Florida next year, because it was Texas first,
Yeah.
then California. And I was like, and then when he said Orlando, we were pretty stoked and happy. I know we got a huge crew out in the southeast of our country. So that's awesome. It makes it fair, because a lot of those guys are traveling to the West Coast for our events. And so it's cool to go out there and switch it up. And that's another great thing about Powur, right? You find yourself traveling, exploring more, connecting, networking. I will give you a pro tip. Powur World is a phenomenal place to build up your content for your social media. You should go out there with the plan to be interviewing other Powur reps, right? Taking pictures, posting videos, making stories, content. That is correct, Jordan Shaw. It's very important to get out there. Show off the lifestyle. That's what attracts reps and people. They may work for a big time EPC or a little one that just went under, but man, when you show them how much fun we have here at Powur, and, you know, the positive mindset and our great leadership, it attracts the people that you want to attract to help build your business. So make sure you have, you know, your camera crew, whether you have a social media manager or just use your iPhone, you know, but get out there, bring those wireless mics, do some interviews and create content.
The other thing to do is, you know, you see some of these people from our partners, whether it's manufacturer or finance partners, you know, go up to SunGage's booth and introduce yourself and take a picture with Jeff. And then text, you know, grab his card and then text him so that he has your contact information if you need to reach out to him, right? That's one of the values of this, is you get to meet and, you know, and network with our partners as well. And that's hugely valuable. And so treat this like you would any other convention, where you go up to those partners that you really want to, you know, get in tight with, and spend some time talking to them, ask them questions, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And here's another pro tip, guys. SunGage loves Powur, and they would be happy to buy you a coffee or an old fashioned. Who knows? Maybe even take you out to a dinner. Yeah, the networking is unmatched, and you get to really make some solid connections and build up your Rolodex. You know, for those of, you know, Larry McKinney, who still has a Rolodex.
What are you picking on Larry for?
Damn.
Oh, because I
Just-
love him.
Just because the mustache is gray. Come on, guys.
Jared, are you going to have some bling when you're there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I should
Yeah.
have a ton of bling. I was looking for my bling earlier. It's somewhere in one of these drawers, but it's cool. Yeah, it's Powur bling.
I
You know,
think,
with all your
I think
ribbons and your
Jonathan
accomplishments.
has some bling sitting behind him right now.
Oh, let's see. What do I got here? Little 7-figure $1 million jacket club.
There you go.
Can't wait to give out 5 of these in person in Florida. It's going to be awesome. Where else?
For
Where else
sure.
do they give $1 million earner jackets out like candy?
So you guys, you know, we got a few minutes left. If you have any questions, or, you know, want to know about some strategies for Powur World or what to do, bring it, drop it in the chat or raise your hand. We do have a few minutes.
I know Barry was asking welcome reception versus the gala. Welcome reception, Sonova Thursday night, gala Friday night, just to clarify.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on gala being Friday night? Do you like that? You like that they pushed it up early?
I do personally. I know you drink 10X. You always try to outdo me, so it might be harder for you, but we'll see.
That's not hard to do these days. You don't even drink. No, keep it in check. That's why I'm bringing the family with me, right? I'm going to literally have my wife, 3 daughters. It's going to be a good time.
Beautiful.
All right. Well, look, if there's no other questions,
No questions.
then we can wrap this one up. But super looking forward to seeing you guys all in person. Really, there is no excuse to not be at Powur World next week. If you could just get there and you don't have a ticket and you need a ticket, reach out to me. I'd happily sponsor one of you guys. It'll literally change your entire business. I mean, there's testimonial after testimonial there. So hit me up privately or DM me if you need help with a ticket. I'd be happy to help one of you guys out.
Same
and
here.
then yeah.
Same here, Jared. Yeah, I appreciate you saying that. Same here, guys. If there's someone that needs help financially just to get there, let Jared or I know. And just a quick recap, tomorrow, 12 Pacific with Irene. You don't want to miss that training. Get your whole team on there. Thursday night next week, business showcase and Danny Pesci. Leverage that event as well. And then, of course, plan the agenda, make the most of it, get the content. And then we'll see you all again for the recap because there's going to be tons of content to recap as well. That's all I got.
Yeah, and lastly, I just can't wait to kick Zachary Bach's ass in go-kart racing Friday morning. So let's go.
It's on like
Yeah,
Donkey Kong.
I never claimed to be good. I claim one thing and one thing only. Bernasso will not win.
Wow.
Not because I am going to win, but because I will absolutely 100% make sure that if he is even close to winning, he will be put into the wall. That is the only promise that I have made during go-kart racing.
You gonna drop a
You-
banana peel?
You were
100%,
fake
bro.
news.
I got
Fake news.
red shells ready and ready to rock and roll.
Red shells.
Hey, let me see if they can boost up my chair and I can race you guys with that.
Hey.
Oh, that'd be
Carlos will
awesome.
beat us all.
Zach, they wrote, "Who do you want to race against?" I wrote Zach Bach, so it's on, brother.
That's fine. I mean, that's okay, Dave. It's okay. Like I
Bring
said,
it.
there's tunnels, so it's gonna take your head off when you try to go through a tunnel because you're too damn tall.
You got it. All right, you guys, we're going to wrap up this recording. Great meeting. Great seeing everybody. We will see you next week at Powur World. Don't forget to register for the event mañana, and we will see you in Orlando, Florida. Peace.
Game on.
Peace.